Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Tuesday, May the 17th. One note, heating oil and unleaded gas volume has rolled from June to July. Crude and microcrude has not yet, but I would expect it to probably roll over tomorrow. All right, flat on the YM at the moment. Soybeans had a get in sync trade that hit money management, so we will wait for a new setup there. I'll keep an eye on the YM for a new trade. Looking for shorts at the moment. And this could be one right here. That closed up. If this bar closes down, if we get a close below the balance line, we'll get a short. Yeah, another up close just above the balance line. 50 EMA seems to be providing support. Please do say hello this morning. Light crowd, and there's our short on the YM, 578, and already hitting target one. I looked away for a moment and it was gone. That's why you have to maintain your concentration when you're trading. YM hitting target 3, stop at 566. Let's see, the Russell with a short trade, definitely in that, and now hitting target 1, so that actually the question is, did we hit target before we came back for a pullback? And it's looking like that may have been the case. Pushing down to money management before coming back up, so that trade is probably off the table. Too fast to catch. 7 seconds to the bar here. And the YM and Russell with a long trade. Bang, bang. That one probably was too fast too. Yeah, that one was definitely too fast to catch. And the YM still trailing at 511. I might hold the stop at 516 on that one. We're already past target 4. So I wouldn't be above giving it a little bit of room. Keeping it above that swing high. And would have stopped out there. So the YM is done, one and done. There is our next trade on soybeans, 68.75. It's a long. Looking for target at 72.50, 74.75, and 76.75. But if we hit 72.50, we will be POQ on the day. It's not on the site somewhere yet, Vicky. I will try to get it to you today. I was very busy last week, up at 5 and gone at 6:15 every morning. I did bill that one, and I've got I didn't get a chance to pull it out and email it to you. Welcome to those joining us a few minutes late. And we're in the long on soybeans. The YM is done. Crude, the full crude contract this morning was kind of tough on us. Our initial trade of the morning at 3 minutes after our start time triggered in, we got within one tick of money management, came all the way back to stop for a full stop out, 24 ticks of risk, so 48 tick loss on 2 positions. This trader here. Next, we have the long at 114.32. That goes to target 1 for 23 ticks and an additional 7 on the trailer. So we're down 18 after 2 trades. And unfortunately, the third trade is another long. Given the proximity to the 200, I probably would have adjusted this to 44. It's not big enough to take to 46. But either of those would have been triggered in and come back for a full stop. So a losing session this morning on the full crude contract. Actually, I'm going to leave that up. Soybeans still working. The full crude contract was a loser this morning. But that's not what I want either. Get to that. The micro crude, a little bit different. 9 o'clock, also 9 o'clock start, just like the regular crude. So we have, come back here. So here we are at 9. Long trade is too far. Pick up the short trade. Missing, I didn't mark that up, but so here is that one. Picking up the short trade, missing the stop by 1 tick. Stop was at the same place as our break even, or as our money management level on the full contract. So missing by 1 tick, surviving, coming back, hitting target 1 for 25 ticks. Our entry was 14.32 and stopping out on the trailer at 14.26 for another 6. So 31 ticks. They're not a huge trade, obviously, with the micro, but one and done nonetheless. And we wait for the next mini session. Unleaded. And there's an add-on on soybeans, but we're still in the long. Let's see what we said. That trade was too fast to catch. This one looks like it has a nice wick that would have given us some time to get in. Six. Oh yeah, plenty of time to get in that one. Only getting to target 2, unfortunately. So we get a small trailer. And a full loss. Short to that has enough time that it probably pull back some during there, and that's your entry point on the second bar. This goes to money management and a break even. Three, 6 seconds on that one. There may have been a pullback in there. Very likely you got in that, and it's another break even. So we have a partial win, full loss, 2 break evens. And that's where we are on the Russell. We'll come back and take a look at unleaded in a minute, and that is the July contract on unleaded as volume has rolled over. So 8:34, wait 4 minutes from market open. So that will be 9:34 on my timestamps, 8:34 exchange time. So short is our first trade. That's going to be a full loss. And unfortunately, we get a second full loss on the long, just triggering in. Possibly avoidable, just depending on how fast it went up and came down. Same for the first trade. So those are possibly avoidable, just depending on the timing. And our third trade is a short that looks like it would definitely get in on this fourth bar. Hits target 1 and picks up, that's big enough to get us to break even. And we get a stop and reverse in profitable territory, so we would take that without adjustment. 12,496 even. And we that in fact do get that 39, well, 3 seconds, but it looks like it had a little wick down here, so might have gotten out of that one at that point. That would be one of those I would probably market out of or just close the position initially to try to maintain any profit you did have. But most likely not able to get into the long trade. And at worst, you came out at a 1 tick break even on the short. The long ended up being a break even also. And we come to another short. Same second, 1 second. It's hit target 1, but it doesn't ever pull back, it doesn't look like, before finally getting to far enough to come to break even and now trailing. So that is a no trade. And new long, just noisy action. 2, 3, 6. Still 6 seconds. That doesn't get back down to the entry. Neither of those do, actually. And we finally do hit our break-even point, our 44 tick minimum. So that goes to a break-even and is a no trade. The long doesn't, or the short rather, doesn't trigger in. The long possibly avoidable, otherwise a full loss. Short definitely gets in so far, and there's our break even, and that's all we get. Full stop out on the long trade. It's next long side. Not being a good morning for Yen Q, just choppy action and tending to be fairly fast. 7 seconds. So I bet I would be willing to bet there was some up and down in that. Here's another wick down to the entry. So in that long trade, hitting break even and starting to trail, and that's all we get is just a few ticks on the trailer, unfortunately. And that's enough. That's enough trades. We should be out of our session. All right, so let's take a look at unleaded gas. $9 start. So our trade is 9 o'clock and 51 seconds. Possibly getting in sync with the long. We're 21 seconds on that bar to just below the entry side. Very likely long, so you would stop and reverse into the short. And this is a diamond level trade off the 200 EMA. But you would stop and reverse at 83.99 actually. 4 tick stop and reverse adjustment on unleaded. If you didn't get in sync with the long, you would take it at 84.04. But then you have another long stop. You have a long setup to stop and reverse at 84.18. So with the adjustment, that would be 84.22. And I probably would take that to 23 or even 24 with the 20 SMA there. But the next bar, the highest it gets is 20. So whatever adjustment you made kept you in the short trade, even though unadjusted, the long trade triggered. So we'd get money management and target 2 for 79 ticks, or 74 ticks if it was a stop and reverse. And then we trail all the way down here almost to target 4 at 82.71. So definitely would get you positive even if you had taken the long trade. So either one and done or 2 trades to positive. And you got 79. Let's see. What would we have done there? The risk was 62. So 389, but we would have stopped and reversed at 3. So it would have been 52 tick loss, 104. So we'd have had 25 ticks. We would have still been 25 ticks in the hole at target, but we got a whole lot more than that since the target was 79 and we're more than double that down here. So that would have been a winning session and a POQ. Good morning, Pamela. And last but not least, Pound Aussie, giving us a short trade at 8:48 with an 8:30 start time. That gets target. Actually, the money management is just below target 1. So 2 positions coming off at target 2 and coming back up for 1 pip on the trailer. So you get 36 pips at target 2 with the 2 positions there, and 3 more pips for the additional 3 positions. So 39 pips this morning on the Pound Aussie in a one and done session. $10 minutes to our crude session at 10 a.m. Soybeans, let's see what it did. It ultimately hit targets 1, 2, and 3 and stopped out at 74.50. So we get 15, 24, and 32 ticks. So 56, 66, 71 ticks on the targets. And $68, 68.75 to 74.50 is 1 tick less than target 2. So 23 ticks on the trailer for a total of 94 ticks. So just shy of 24 points. 23 and 3/4 points. So that folks is a $1,000 trade at $50 a point. One and done session on soybeans. So let's check back in on the Russell and see how that did. It was slow going. That short was, I would say, avoidable. That's a break even. Well, actually, that's a target 3 win. And it looks like there's a wick there. Yeah, plenty of time to get into that one. So you pick up a target 3 win and a tick on the trailer. The long is in all likelihood avoidable. Possible to get into that one. You had 5 seconds to the close of the bar, the first bar after the setup. So that may have given you enough time to get into that. It ends up being a 1-tick stop out. So you get break even out of it. Long trade. Six seconds to the second bar. Then we get the wick. And I would say in this trade, in all likelihood, getting money break even on the fourth bar. And that's where we stop out. Didn't quite make target 3. And that brings us to current again. Lots of time on that bar in this trade. Okay, we started trailing, so we got a very small loss on that trade. Yeah, there's our trailer right there. Lots of time on that one. We're in the long, which is the current trade. Money management and target 2 achieved. Can it break out now and give us a really strong trade here? I think that'll be about as far as I follow it, because there's not much. That's a lot of trades again, just like the micro NQ. And unfortunately not getting to target 3. So that is a break even. Kind of choppy action on the micro Russell and the micro NQ. Heating oil. And go back here to 8 to 930. Short doesn't trigger. Long pops right to money management. In 1 second, so that's certainly untradeable. Lots of time to get into this short, which does hit target 3 and gives you 1 tick on the trailer. It's targets 3 and 4. Small trade, but profitable nonetheless. Hitting the entry on the nose and then stopping out, that one's certainly avoidable. I would hope. But possibly a full stop there. Short, we get another short here. We got 12 seconds in that bar. Or no, I'm sorry, 8 seconds in that bar before it hits money management. So that one you just have to, you either have to be watching it or break it down to see how quickly it came through. But it did hit targets 3 and 4 and picks up a couple of 2 or 3 ticks on the trailer. No entry on the long. And a second long, 8 seconds. possibly too fast, but that one bounces through all 4 targets and starts trailing, and then that gives you your best trade of the morning if you were able to get into it. You had 8 seconds on that first bar, so just a matter of how quickly it went through the entry. And stopping out at 75.79. And here's another long. This one gives us even more, 28 seconds. That one I would say is in all likelihood definitely in. Targets 3 and 4. And here's another trailer, getting us a bit past target 4. That's a couple of nice strong winners. A quick break even. And another break even. Things getting a little choppy. That's a full loss. 20-second bar. Just going through the entry, it looks like. The entry at 79.61. We got as high as 65. Yeah, 4 ticks through the entry. And then pulling back. So maybe full loss, maybe not. Break even on the short if it's tradable. Same second setup and money management, so certainly not tradable. Four seconds to money management. That one's not tradable. It was only a break even anyway. Another break even. 7 seconds on the bar, maybe tradable, maybe not, but break even only. Plenty of time to get into the short, and that looks like it's a break even. And that should be all the trades for the session for heating oil. And we are into our 10 a.m. crude session. In the long, 1538. So that is our trade there. And not a whole lot of movement. And stop and reverse possibility at 24. And it looks like we did trigger short. So our money management comes to 115.11. Crude ended up, definitely in an uptrend this morning. That's going to hurt at the gas pumps. Unleaded wholesale price sitting up at 385. We need an excursion below the 50 in this trade. Although if we get a good solid move right here on up through the 20, but nope, not gonna. Looks like it's kind of back and forth. So I was gonna say we could possibly get another stop and reverse, and that would be the second loss. But if it had been a strong move off the 50 EMA, I would have been willing to take that third trade in spite of two losses. But in this case, slow price action. If we take the second loss, it should be done. Yeah, definitely volume still on the June contract. So we'll see. It looks like we're peaking below the 50. If we get a close here, that would be good news. So 1538 to 1524 is 14 ticks. So 28 ticks on the loss on the stop and reverse. Target 1 is 18 ticks, so it'll be 15 ticks with the 3-tick adjustment. Leaving us down 13. Working to get money management at 115.11. Let's take a quick look in on the micro crude. So that got into the long here. And stopping a reverse into the short. So that one we have 41 to 27. Also 14 ticks. So we're down, and that just stopped out at break even. Hitting money management on the button. Actually, yeah, because that was a stop and reverse, that would have been break even at 26. So that was a profit or positive trade. So we can take a third trade on the micro crude. Going back and looking at the full crude contract, still in the short. And there's money management and target 1 on the full crude contract. Bouncing, getting targets 1 and 2, so that should get us positive. 15 ticks for target 1, 25 for target 2, gives us 40. We're down 28, so up 12 for the session, and that is a POQ session. So full crude is POQ. Micro crude is in the short for its third trade. And stopping out. Losing session for the micro crude. So micro crude and micro crude swapping positions for the 10 a.m. session. And that's about all there is this morning. Questions, comments, etc. A reminder that tomorrow should be the rollover on crude and micro crude, unleaded and heating oil already rolling over. But I'm looking for questions or things that people want to cover, or we'll go ahead and call it a morning. I will be in for Troy for the Wednesday morning session tomorrow and for the crude oil session tomorrow. So I will see you tomorrow and Thursday this week. And Troy will be back on Monday. You're quite welcome, Steve. Oh, that's right. I know one other thing we haven't looked at, and that was unleaded on Catapult. This was an 8:45 start, I believe. Lots of time to get in that. Don't know how long it stayed around the entry, but going to money management on that first bar, just taking a while to do it. Target 3 and a couple of ticks on the trailer. The long goes 14 seconds to money management. So another case of may or may not be tradable. Target 3 and a 1 tick. The short, don't know with the timing there. So it's either an untradable or a full loss. Same again for the long. The short, looks like there's plenty of time to get into that. We do pick up another target 3 and a break-even trailer. I would say that's 3 winners to go along with 2 possible losses. Take the 6th trade here. Lots of time on that bar. So don't know if it's tradable or not, but it's very nicely profitable trade. Targets 3, 4, and trailing down beyond target 4. So that's 4 wins in 6 trades. And that would be done for me. And last but not least, the Micro ES. Set up at 8:35 is our start time. And we get a short setup right at 8:35. Just barely getting through target 1 and coming back to stop out for a 1 tick break even, but getting a pretty big target 1. 6 contract trade on a $20,000 account. With a target 1 win of 10.5 points. So not bad. I would say most likely 2 on target 1 and 1 each beyond that. So we get 21 points on target 1, and 1 point on the trailer. 4 positions at a quarter point or 1 tick each. 22 points at $5 a point. It's a $100 trade. And a one and done mini session. And our next session beginning on the close of this bar at 10:30. And we're not going to stick around for more 5-minute bars. All right, then. Unless I see questions in the next 4 minutes, we'll go ahead and close it down at 10:30. Everyone have a wonderful afternoon, and we'll see everybody tomorrow morning bright and early at 9:30 for our regular Wednesday morning session. Thank you, Pamela. You have a good one. Okay, Vicki, I will go ahead and get that workspace out to you. Now, obviously, this workspace has at least one counterpunch chart, a few catapult charts, catapult energies, catapult ES, and I think that may be all. No, it's got the catapult NQ. So you may have some charts you want to delete. You'll have to delete, but otherwise everything should be fine. And now a nice successful trade on the micro crude, as well as on the full crude contract. Finally breaking down below the 200. Two successful targets and trailing now. I need an email to send it to, Steve. Steve, actually, I need to know one other thing. Which spot do you have Spotlight? And if so, uh, which version do you have the? Okay, you have only CPX2. So the only chart on this workspace that would work with CPX2, and actually this is the chart that I've got is the full counterpunch, would be the soybeans chart. That's the only CPX2 chart or counterpunch chart that I have on this workspace. So this workspace wouldn't help you at all. But what I would suggest is go ahead and build your workspace from the trade plans that are on the owner site, and test your own trade plans. Because this workspace is mostly Spotlight with some catapult and the one counterpunch chart, but it is the full counterpunch. So that would not work with your calculator. So I could certainly send you the workspace, but I know Vicky has Spotlight, and she's using the same calculator that I'm using, which is the old version from our days, from Troy's days with NetPicks. All right. All right. I don't see. Okay, Steve. I would be more than happy to do it. Of course, I'm assuming you're on NinjaTrader, because it obviously that if you're not, then my workspaces are not going to help at all. But if you're on CPX2, then I'd have to generate specific workspaces for CPX2. All right, folks. Everybody have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will see everybody tomorrow morning.